What's crackin', Seekers? I'm BS Warren, the Blacksmith of Worlds, and I'm finally getting around to making a video on the characters of Young Monarchs. That's right, remember that video I uploaded ages ago where I had said that I'd do it? This is it. This is it right here. Please forgive me for taking all of eternity to make this video. I'll get right into it. So this purple boy right here is Anubis. He's the prince of the underworld and the son of the sitting regent, Lich Queen Asteria. His father, King Osiris, died when he was young. He has a best friend named the Night Train. The Night Train is a fantastic character as well. You'll love him. He's Anubis' adopted brother and a knight in the court of Asteria. Anubis is an academic prodigy. He's extremely intelligent and remarkably cunning. He's also a master sorcerer. Using his incredible intellect, he's conquered the darkest disciplines in magic, including necromancy, blood magic, conjuring, biosmithing, and even more. His skill with magic and genius have even earned him the year of his mother. He acts in an advisory capacity to her. So even though he's not yet old enough to sit on the throne, he has something of a say in the kingdom's affairs. Anubis is also very Machiavellian, which made him really fun to write. He's willing to resort to any means necessary to protect his family in the underworld. One thing I've noticed about the audience who's read the book so far, a lot of female readers really like Anubis. I like to think of myself as a man of the people, so if you enjoy fan service, you should absolutely give Young Monarchs a read. This mighty minotaur here is Bjorn. He's a warrior of the Beast Tribes and the son of the current chieftainess of the tribes, Kachane Darkforest. His father, Chief Ragnar Heavyhorn, died during an expedition to a region called the Bestial Badlands when Bjorn was younger. Bjorn has a very large family. He has 7 sisters, 5 older than the 2 twins are younger than him. One of the other characters, Draugeta, is also a very close childhood friend of his. Bjorn is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's a beast of few words with a lot of bass in his voice. What he lacks in brains, however, he makes up for heavily in brawn. He's insanely strong, more so than any of his kinsmen, and his legendary strength is already spoken of with all throughout the tribe lands, as is his affinity for drinking any warrior under the table. Kara is the princess of the Burning Empire. Her father, Dagon, is the current reigning emperor, and her mother, Cassandra, is the empress. Both of Kara's parents tend to be extremely busy with matters of state, however, so she ends up spending a lot of time with her uncle, Aldrig the Puny, who's the royal quartermaster and her father's older brother. Like the rest of her family, Kara is a dragon. She possesses both a humanoid form, which is what you see here on this piece of the cover, and a draconic form, which she can shift into at will. She's also trained under the greatest soldiers of her kingdom since childhood, so she has a spectacular level of skill in combat, and even though she's only 17, she's already secured a position of leadership within the Empire's army, the Hordes of the Dragon Emperor. Kara is an extremely fiery character. She's got a short temper, lots of passion, a powerful sense of duty, and an overwhelming drive to prove her worth to her father. She's also become addicted to some certain vices, however, and that clashes frequently with her personal goals. Raiden is a storm elemental and the daughter of the democratically elected leader of Skyscraper City, President for Life Thor. Her mother, Indra, died in a limousine accident when she was younger, so it's mostly just her dad, and their security team at home. This means it's extremely easy for her to get away with whatever she wants without her dad finding out. So at night, she'll sneak out with her best friends to go party in the nightclubs and high-rises of the city's upper neighborhoods. Raiden is super sassy, she's lively, spontaneous, and she's got a lot of attitude. She's also admittedly a little bit spoiled. Think of that one really popular girl from high school or uni whose dad is super rich. That's similar to what she's like. Her thoughts and dialogue were extremely fun to write, and she has some awesome interactions with the other characters. She and Tetris have much more modern feel as they both live in modern/hyper-advanced societies. Speaking of Tetris, Tetris is the son of 2 delegates to the Undersea Alliance, which is the coalition of science and military leaders that governs beneath the waves of all Earth's northern oceans. His father, General Neptune, is a prominent military leader, and his mother, Dr. Rand, leads a science division within the Alliance's seat of power, a massive underwater base/city on the seafloor called Citadel Atlantis. Tetris is actually a genetic anomaly. He's the first full shapeshifter to have been born in hundreds of years. A lot of other creatures in All Earth, especially creatures from outside the oceans, have the ability to take on a second or even a third form, but Tetris can change his body down to the molecule at will and become any living thing he can imagine. His greatest ability, however, is his affinity for technology. Tetris is an expert programmer, weapons developer, electrical engineer. If it runs on electronics, he can rip it apart and figure out how it works. You'll get to see him build all kinds of stuff during the book. And like Raiden, Tetris also has some fantastic interactions with the other characters. He's super sarcastic, and his humor really amplifies the riotous fun of the story. He tends to keep to himself for reasons he doesn't like to share. He's not very sociable, but over time he'll learn to have faith in other people again. Tyrael I is the crown prince of the shining city of heaven, which is a massive airborne citadel floating above the clouds of all Earth. He's a member of a race called the Celestials, which are these gold-skinned humanoids capable of wielding a strange radiant energy source known as Holy Light. His parents, King Raphael X and Queen Doris, are the other two members of the royal family. The monarchy of heaven puts faith in and enforces a doctrine of celestial supremacy. The general message of it claims that one day their species will return to the surface world and cleanse it of the lesser creatures. Raphael and Doris have tried to groom this belief into Tyrael, but Tyrael's a remarkably compassionate young man who relates well to others, so it doesn't really take well with him. I don't pick favorites because I like all my babies, but I really love the journey which Tyrael has taken on over the course of the book. He builds some incredible relationships and connections with the rest of the cast, and although he's certainly not the strongest in the beginning, he gradually manifests this legendary courage and determination. Very much a coming-of-age type arc. I immensely enjoyed writing it, and you're going to have a blast reading it as well. Now, Trajan. I like to characterize Trajan as a special egg. I don't really put a label on it, but the connections in his brain fire differently than other people's. He's a member of a race of sentient starfaring robots called the Travelers, and he lives with them in this enormous armada of starships in the upper atmosphere. He deeply cares for his mother and father, Octavia and Princeps Tacitus. Princeps is the name of the position of leader of the Fleet High Council, which is their form of government. It's like a senate. Trajan also deeply cares for and idolizes his older brother Gallienus, who is on track to inherit their father's position. As I said, Trajan's a very strange young man. He's extremely energetic, hilariously optimistic, and overly friendly. He's also quite the chef. He likes to cook all sorts of exotic food and pastries. At the beginning of the book, he'll tend towards being comic relief, though he's helpful in his own unique way. But over the course of the book, he'll undergo some big changes which will decide the fate of the planet. Finally, Draugeta is the half-druid, half-dryad princess of the Great Wood. Her full name, Draugeta of the Deep Wood, comes from the mysterious forested region at the far western edge of the Woodland Phase territory. Draugeta's druid blood comes from her father, Moradon of Oak and Will, who's the master shaman of the Great Wood, and her dryad blood comes from her late mother, Caliphate. As I mentioned earlier, Draugeta has been close friends with Bjorn since childhood. However, due to the political motivations of their parents, specifically Draugeta's father and Bjorn's mother, Bjorn and Draugeta have an arranged marriage. Draugeta as a character is quite timid. She's very shy and concerned with the rules of high society which her father and his court pressure to follow. This has resulted in her being hesitant to advocate for herself, and she really struggles to have faith in her own personal abilities. And that's the full cast of main characters. I had a blast spending time with them and writing all about their adventures. There are a lot more characters which you're guaranteed to enjoy as well, like the Night Train, Tyrael's personal attendant Samal, and Draugeta's father Moradon. Each and every one of them are excited to meet you and take you on an incredible adventure through All Earth. Don't disappoint them and don't wait. Grab your copy of Young Monarchs Last War of the Eight Kingdoms now. Some quick announcements before I depart. The Fund My Comic campaign will be closing down on October 27th. All the orders from it and the Indiegogo campaign have been fulfilled. However, there's still time to get your copy of the book. After October 27th, paperback and hardcover copies won't be available for a hot minute, as I'm currently securing an ISBN and a barcode for the paperback. This is going to allow me to sell mass market retail versions of the book in physical stores. You'll want to buy your campaign paperback or hardcover soon before they're no longer available, especially since books purchased from the campaign are going to accumulate value over time. On October 30th, Young Monarchs will be released on Amazon for Kindle. I also decided that I'm going to opt it into Kindle Unlimited, so if you have Kindle Unlimited or subscribe to it, you'll be able to read the book for free. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll be back again soon at some point in the near future with another video about the Eight Kingdoms, so stay tuned. And no matter what you believe in, make it fantastic. Also, as a final side note, I've already begun toiling over my next works. One of them is a 4-part fantasy series, and the other is a space opera sci-fi novel. In the coming months, I'll be spending some time working on them over on my Kick channel. Be sure to head on over and say hi and ask me questions. I'm not Blizzard Entertainment. I'd love to talk more about what I'm working on and what I have in store. Thank you again, Seekers. I'll see you soon.